Welcome, folks. This is Everyone Loves Pirates, and today we are going to play some Dwarf Fortress. I was watching someone who's commented on one of my videos, Richie James 1. I was watching some of his videos, and he has some Dwarf Fortress videos, including one for beginners, which hopefully he continues that and makes a series out of it because it's good info. There's also a lot of other beginner series for Dwarf Fortress out there. You kind of need them to get to know how to play. I watched one whenever it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago that I started playing Dwarf Fortress. But this is a great game. If you don't know what it is, it's kind of hard to explain. But basically, you take care of a bunch of dwarves. You tell them what to do, and they may or may not do it. It's a lot like Crusader Kings, but with dwarfs and goblins and all sorts of horrible, horrible things happen. And that's the point of this game: is that losing is fun. It's the motto. So I can't promise a long reign. I haven't played this in a while, to be honest, but I used to do all right with it, and hopefully it'll be an entertaining series. So I brought up the Lazy Noob pack. If you never played the game before, I highly recommend getting this and using that, just so you can see what my settings are. My computer's not the fastest thing on earth, and I'm also trying to record this at the same time and encode while it's recording. So I'm not really sure how much it's going to get bog down my processor. So we have a population cap of 100, child cap as well, and we've turned off cave-ins and we've turned off aquifers. I am going to leave the liquid depth, which could hurt if we have a lot of moving water. It's just going to tell us the depth with numbers. But otherwise, that's what we're doing. We are playing with the Phoebus Tileset. So usually this is just ASCII graphics. It's just a whole bunch of ASCII characters. You kind of have to figure out what they mean. It's like looking at the Matrix. It's doable. A lot of people love that. I can do it just because I started off with like roguelikes like 20 years ago, like NetHack and but I would still rather look at a tile set. So there you go. That's what we're playing with. And I figured I'd bring guys along for the ride. We'll start a new world. And I'm not going to make this a tutorial, instructional series. I'm going to show you what I'm doing so we're all on the same page. But it's so difficult to explain this game that it has to have its own tutorial to do so. You can't really, the tutorial won't be fun for people who know how to play the game, and it'll just take forever. So hopefully you do know, but this can be fun to watch even if you don't know how to play it and just see what's going on. So I'm going to do a small world size, I think. I like short history. It'll take less time to build up the history because this game procedurally generates everything, not just the world, but also everything that's ever happened in that world up until the time point you tell it. So every civilization that's rose and fallen, every single human being's life, or dwarf's life, or elf's life, goblin life, or life of some titan, or some horrible thing somewhere. It's all in there. This is amazing, in-depth, awesome game. We'll have a medium number of civilizations, I think. Medium number of sites, beasts. All this is fine. I am going to go up to frequent mineral occurrence just so we're not really kicking ourselves trying to find something worthwhile. It has been a while. I might take the natural savagery just down a little bit. I know. You play this a lot, you're like, oh, what a wuss. But hey, that's the way I want to play. And that's how I will play. And that's what's great about this game. You can do whatever you want. So that was very, very quick. If you go for longer periods of time, it takes a lot longer. But it only did up to year 5. And you see it created this world here. The contingent hill of the ocular continent. The whole world is the planet of oracles. That's pretty cool. I like that. The Dar Ladir in Dwarven speak or whatever. So it made all the elevation, temperature, it formed lakes and minerals, wind and water has eroded the landscape, and this is what we have over here. And we've also had 337 figures, the historical figures. 10 people have died in these 5 years, and we've had 664 events. So there's not going to be a whole lot of history, but we're going to create the history. And one of the cool things is you can continue to play on this world for basically ever. We can, if our first fortress dies, we can go to the next one. We can settle a new fortress, and hey, the history from before will be part of our dwarven history, which is pretty cool. if some of those characters are still alive and we resettle immediately, they may come to our new fort. It's really a really awesome game, and I do hope that you all can get past kind of the graphics. So we created a world. We'll start playing it. This is region 8 for me. I happen to have quite a few region saves. Some specifically for adventurers, because it also has an adventure mode where it's basically like a little RPG. It's kind of like NetHack or, some old roguelike just out in the middle of nowhere, not stuck inside a dungeon somewhere, system of caves. But you can create an adventurer, you can make him a dwarf, you can do human, you can do whatever you want. You can go and you kill a bunch of stuff, and then if you quit that world, that save, but use the same world and make a fortress, that adventurer that you played as yourself may come to your fortress. It's just everything's so wonderfully interwoven, and you can figure all this out. Let's just kind of get into it. You can see other videos about legends and adventurer. So this on the right is our world. This far right one is the entire planet of the oracles. And then where this X is where we're zoomed into here, which is our region view. And then we have a very, very local view. And what I kind of want to look at, I'm going to tab through and kind of see, well, there's only one dwarven civilization, which isn't surprising since this is the beginning of the world. And it's here. It's this blue dwarf guy there. So this is our mountain home. This is where we're leaving to go settle elsewhere. The Blue Salve. We are dwarfs of the Blue Salve. And we want to settle somewhere further away from our mountain home, just so we can get supplies from our mountain home every year when the trade caravans come. But we want to settle somewhere that has new stuff. So they'll want the kind of cool stuff that we have, and we can sell it to them, and we can get stuff that the new place doesn't have from them, and there's a lot more variety that way. And I mean, economic wise, why else would you split off from your mountain home and spread out? It's, our manifest destiny here is that we both get a lot out of this, that both civilizations, our mother civilization and the new one we start, both benefit from this relationship. So let's see what we have. This is the one that this is going to show you this view, and I can tab through them. It's going to show us basically what we're looking for. We want to find, stuff, a place to settle based on temperature and, just trees and minerals and just anything that we could find of use. I actually like rivers quite a bit as well. The other thing you can do is use F and just search for stuff, and that's what I'm probably going to do is, stop search. It's been a while, so I forget the keys sometimes. There we go. I do want medium temperature. I don't really want to play with freezing and stuff. I definitely want flux stone, so if we have iron, we can create steel. No aquifer, even though we already turned that off. It shouldn't have made one. I do like rivers. I prefer to have a fishing industry if I can. Let's try to get multiple deep metals at least. There's always going to be some soil. Try to get multiple shallow metals as well. So it's going to search, and any of the green X's are places that meet my requirements, which is good. Sometimes my requirements are just too much, and I end up with a map full of red X's. And there we go. The ones that are left flashing are what we want, or fit what we're looking for. Now the other thing I like is to get multiple biomes. So you'll see if I press F1 and F2, we can see the different biomes, which means a possibility for different metals. On the right, it would change if they had different contents there as well. Not that the contents are identical if they don't change. Oh, 3 biomes. Nice. So this one has a lot of deep metals and flux stone. This one has shallow metal and deep metal. And this one is the same. Now, I always end up forgetting what moves what. But I also kind of want to get further away, I think, from our mountain homes. Maybe up here on the top of this island. There we go. I'm looking at the wrong map. So we have some hills. Scarce vegetation. We have some woodlands. Let's try down here. Little island. I don't know if they can get to us there. We can always tab and make sure that there's civilizations around. Yeah, so there would be nothing there. Go all the way up here. What's the blue stuff? Mirthful. I've never actually been in a Mirthful area. It determines the types of enemies that you'll run into. It could be interesting. I tend to play the same every time I play, which is a shame. But the game is so different every time you play, no matter how you set it up, that never really bother me. So it is temperate. We might get some cool winters. What? Oh, they make it so difficult to use this sometimes. Where are my flux stones? Up there, huh? I do want some trees. I know this is taking a while. If you just want to see gameplay, obviously just go straight to the gameplay. Calm surroundings. Despite the lack of a lot of vegetation, sparse trees, I want to see what Mirthful is. We'll both find it out ourselves. I think I like Icy Roasted as the stream, as long as we can get our flux stone. Okay, so there's the flux stone. Let's make sure we've got a decent amount of that. I would like the third biome still. It's just a little corner though. Yeah, that might work. I can also change kind of the size or the shape of this. So I can make it wider, but shorter. That's 3 by 5. I don't want to make it too big. Once again, I'm a little concerned about what my computer is going to be able to handle while doing all this stuff. That could be good. Never done one kind of in landscape like that before. We might get a lot of different kind of animals with these 3 biomes. We are going to be hurting for trees, but that's okay. And just to check real quick, let's look at... Wow, no cliffs at all. Interesting. I do kind of prefer to dig into the side of something. We can always make some ramps down. You know, let's try it. Once again, who cares? We'll figure it out. Something new is always good. So we hit E to embark. Oh, an area with salt water. Oh man. How does that brook have salt water? Well, it's possible to survive, but difficult. You know what? Let's just try it. We'll see what happens. Remember, losing can be fun. And here's where I'm going to end it because I can take forever setting stuff up. So I will set stuff up, prepare for the embark on my own, and show you what we decided to do next time. And that's our setup for this game, and hopefully it will go well. If you have watched this before watching the others, thank you very much. Take a look, give me your input, your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And if you like this series, you want people to find it and watch it, give it a like too. Thanks a lot, y'all. I will see you next episode.